With hundreds of thousands of objects, the Rijksmuseum, or State Museum, is the largest museum for art and history in the Netherlands. It's located in Amsterdam, in the impressive building designed by architect Pierre Cuypers. It was opened on July the 13th, 1885. Cuypers had the interior as well as the exterior decorated with representations related to Dutch art and history, in a nutshell, with important names and important events. And the most important artist of all is Rembrandt. He is depicted larger and more often than all the others. 25 tile tableaux around the building depict major events in Dutch history. They were designed by Georg Sturm, a Viennese painter who lived in Amsterdam. The back of the building shows the most important art commissioners from the past. 4 of Rembrandt's clients are depicted on this tile tableau: District Governor Frederik Hendrik, his secretary Constantijn Huygens, Dr. Nicholas Tulp, and Mayor Jan Six. Those decorations also have a function. The museum's exterior tells visitors about some of the things they will see once they go inside. The collection of the Rijksmuseum is divided into 5 categories. The emphasis lies on art from the 17th century, and the museum also has a large collection of paintings, sculptures and arts and crafts work from other periods. Then there are 3 other departments: the print room, the Dutch history department, and the small but enticing Oriental art department. The collection of paintings by the great Dutch masters of the 17th century is world famous, like this lively marital portrait by Frans Hals. Their landscapes, portraits, domestic scenes, church interiors, and merry gatherings are loved by the public at large. The works of Johannes Vermeer belong to the jewels of the collection, with the quiet simplicity of the kitchen maid as high point. The abundance of the wealthy citizens in the celebration of the Peace of Münster by Van der Helst continues to amaze with all its detail. And the intimate tableau of a mother and child still impresses as well. Or a quintessentially Dutch landscape by Jacob van Ruysdael. The Old Amsterdam Town Hall by Peter Sanredam. Or the entertaining work of Jan Steen, the painter who liked to show people with all their virtues and vices, like the popular Feast of St. Nicholas, with teasing and gifts, with songs, cake and sweets, as it's still celebrated today. And the Merry Family with the motto, "As the old sang, so the young pipe." Another crowd puller is the moving portrait of a girl wearing her best clothes and holding a feather fan. It was painted by Johannes Verspronk. Of course, it's Rembrandt, the most famous Dutch painter from the 17th century, who draws the most visitors. With over 20 paintings, of which some are very special, the museum provides an excellent overview of the work of this master. Portraits like the Staalmeesters, a work from his peak period. Or this early self-portrait with his face mostly in the shadow. The daringly painted Jewish Bride from 1662. Rembrandt's late self-portrait as the Apostle Paul. And son Titus, represented as a monk. Or biblical stories, like the emotional moment when Peter denies being a follower of Christ. And mourning Jeremiah, who in a vision sees the fall of Jerusalem. Old people appealed to Rembrandt. He painted them with a lot of feeling. Vicar Johannes Uitenboogaert, portrayed at the age of 76. And the old prophetess Anna, deeply lost in her book, the Bible. The music lesson is the Rijksmuseum's earliest Rembrandt. Here he still went for bombastic effects. In Tobias and Anna, that has already changed. Here the emphasis lies on emotion. The Night Watch is the absolute high point of the collection. This life-size portrait of the militia company of Frans Banning Kok is Rembrandt's most famous painting. The captain gives a command, and the officers and men go into action. Especially the lieutenant stands out in his yellow garb, embroidered with lions holding the Amsterdam coat of arms. Originally, the Night Watch was even larger. In 1715, a section was cut off. The canvas turned out to be too big for the designated wall at Amsterdam Town Hall. Many of the Dutch painters were specialists, excelling at one genre of painting, at landscapes, for example. Hendrik Averkamp even limited himself to winter scenes. The still life painters demonstrated their skills in representing all sorts of materials: dull shining pewter, clear glass, juicy grapes, or different kinds of cheese. Johannes Vermeer owes his fame to his subdued depictions of people indoors. Art van den Heer painted the Dutch winters of that time. There were always people playing golf. And Gerard ter Borch was renowned for his rendering of textiles, especially satin. But he was also capable of painting a moving portrait of a child. The Rijksmuseum also has an exquisite collection of 19th century paintings, with works of, for example, Breitner, Isaac Israels, and the romantic winter landscape by Barend Cornelis Koekoek. Then there is the varied collection of arts and crafts, some 50,000 objects altogether, with highlights of medieval sculpture, work by the Utrecht sculptor Adriaan van Wezel, and an alabaster piece by the South German artist Tilman Riemenschneider. There are monumental cupboards from the 17th century, masterworks from the famous silversmiths Adam and Paulus van Vianen, engraved glasses, sumptuous tapestries, and an extensive collection of Delftware, colourful like this tile tableau or the famous blue. All possible objects have been made from it. But the best known are the tulip vases, which are also used for other flowers, by the way. Other top pieces are the doll houses. They're fully furnished and give a nice impression of the domestic environment of well-to-do citizens in the 17th century. All the objects, some 700 altogether, have been made at the same scale, 1:9. But the arts and crafts department has more to offer. Dresses, for example, like this embroidered wedding dress from 1759, and a comprehensive collection of 18th century porcelain. A highlight are these animal figurines from Meissen, the oldest manufacturer of porcelain in Europe. And a whole range of jewellery. The print room contains the largest collection of prints, drawings and photos in the Netherlands, including an unrivaled collection of etchings by Rembrandt and very rare etchings by Hercules Segers. Etchings by an unknown master from the 15th century, named the master of the Amsterdam collection, and French drawings by artists such as Watteau, Fragonard and Boucher. With this portrait of William of Orange, father of the country, we come to the Dutch history department. It contains objects from the Middle Ages to the 20th century, objects that give a face to the history of the Dutch state and nation. With a violent sea battle from the 80 Years' War, with authentic objects, the real sources from the past, the chest of Hugo de Groot, the coat of mail made for the funeral of Prince Frederick Hendrik, with naval heroes like Michiel de Ruyter and the gifts they received after a resounding victory. Here de Ruyter's golden goblet by way of thanks for his share in the voyage to Chatham. The Battle of Waterloo, in which Napoleon was defeated for good. And modern times with beloved politician Willem Drees. And finally, there's the lovely collection of Oriental art, with this dancing Shiva as one of the highlights. These are unique items from the collection of the Rijksmuseum. For those who've never seen them for real, perhaps a spur to a closer acquaintance.